Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am recommending some young adult books. So it's actually been a while since I've done a recommendations video, especially a young adult one. So I figured I would do one, and I will have another romance recommendations video up probably in April, so look forward to that one. I have another one coming. Anyways, so I have about 5 YA books to recommend you guys today, so let's just get started. The first one I feel like I've talked about before, and I don't think I've mentioned it in a recommendations video before. If I have, oops. If I haven't, that is Between Us and the Moon by Rebecca Maisel. I loved this book when I read it. I read it when it came out, which was, I want to say 2015. Yes. I gave it like 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. This is about a girl who is really fascinated with astrology and the stars and everything, and she has always lived in the shadow of her older sister, and her boyfriend breaks up with her, and then her family goes to another town or like another place for the summer, and she meets Andrew, who is a college boy, and she's in high school. And it's just about her falling in love, trying to find herself. It's really cute. I really liked it, and I thought it was very realistic, so I really loved it. I really want to do a reread soon, but I really enjoyed this one. Next is another contemporary, and that is Wild Swans by Jessica Spotswood, and I read this back in 2016 and really enjoyed it. I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. This was also a contemporary that I felt was very realistic and very nice. I feel like sometimes some contemporaries are very boring. It really depends, but this one was just, it was very like, I don't really know how to explain it, but it was just a really great read, and I really liked the main character. I loved the love interest. I just felt like the main character was really smart, and I just felt like it was also very realistic YA contemporary. And this is about a girl who is in this famous family. They're always very well known, and the women in her family have led extraordinary lives but all died young, tragically, and her grandfather calls it a legacy, but Ivy thinks it's a curse. And her mother now returns, I think like a couple years later, with 2 of her daughters, so like Ivy's stepsisters, and she's trying to deal with her mother being in town and yet living up to the family name, and also falling in love. And I just really liked it. I thought it was very interesting and different, and not something I'd read before in a YA contemporary. Next is a trilogy, and that is The Conspiracy of Us by Maggie Hall. This is like a mystery contemporary. Don't think there's magic in here. I can't remember, to be honest. I don't think so. It's more like kind of Da Vinci Code inspired. So it's very interesting. The first book is A Conspiracy of Us. The second book is A Map of Fates. And the third book is The Ends of the World. Yeah, it literally says Teen Vogue blurb this. A Da Vinci Code style thriller for teens. Yes, please. That's basically what this is. Avery finds out she has a new family. And she finds out more about her family. She finds out that they're part of this secret society, and there's lots of secrets, lots of like interesting things. People are trying to kill people. It's very action-packed and thrilling, and I really, really love this trilogy. I highly recommend it. It does have a love triangle, but honestly, I feel like it's very obvious who Avery ends up with, but it's not like an overwhelming love triangle, because it's more about the story. The love triangle is just kind of in the background. But I do highly recommend this trilogy if you love anything thrilling and yet like putting the pieces together, kind of trying to figure out the mystery. It's like a Da Vinci Code for teens. It's so great. I really, really love this trilogy. The next series I recommend is Altered by Jennifer Rush. This I read years ago. I think I read it right before the second book came out, which this came out back in 2014. So it's been a long time. So this is a trilogy. The first book is Altered, the second book is Erased, and the third book is Reborn. And then there are a few novellas in the series, which I think I read, but I don't really count them. Like, unless you're super obsessed with the series, go ahead and read the novellas, but other than that, you don't really need to. So this book is kind of a sci-fi dystopian a little bit. It follows Anna, who her father works in this branch where they observe genetically modified boys, and they basically test them and see if they have powers or any sort of abilities or whatever, and Anna helps her dad just help take care of them and monitor them. Obviously Anna falls in love with them, and the boys then make an escape, and Anna decides to go with them, and it's them on the run and just figuring out other secrets. I really liked this series. I found it really entertaining and different. I don't really know if this is super popular. If you have read this, let me know, but I really enjoyed these. They're definitely a book that I would want to reread. So yeah, and I love the covers. I love the spines. They look so pretty on my bookshelves, like gorgeous colors. And the next one, you can probably tell which one I'm recommending because I just took it off, and that is the program series by Suzanne Young. And I know this series kind of has a love-hate relationship. A lot of people think that this series glamorizes, they're just gonna keep falling, mental illness and suicide and stuff. I don't, but I also don't really know. Like, a lot of people, it could be a trigger for you, so I'm just warning you. I was not affected. I cried so much reading this whole series, especially this first book. So I would just be wary. It does deal with depression, mental illness, suicide. I don't think there's sexual harassment in this one, but I believe there is in another one. But I just found this book really, really powerful and an important book to read because it really shows you the effects of suicide and just like how to deal. Basically, let me explain the premise. This follows characters where they're in a society where suicide is an epidemic, and they have this cure called the program, which they basically erase your memory and like numb you so that you don't feel depressed or whatever. And if your family member committed suicide, they also have the program so that you kind of forget about them, or like you don't remember the bad stuff. Does that make sense? I'm not explaining this very well. The main character in here, Sloane, her brother died, and her parents are trying everything to make her be okay and survive because they already lost one child. Yeah, so when they go in the program, their memory is like gone. Like, their depression is gone, but so are their memories, basically. Sloane is falling in love with James, who is like a really close friend. She finds that she can only be herself with him, and they both are struggling with things, and I just highly recommend it. Yeah, I would just be careful because it could be a trigger for some who suffer with mental illness. So the first book, this series is really, really long. The last book is coming out in April, and I'm so excited. But the first book is the program. The second book is the treatment. The third book is the remedy. The fourth book is the epidemic. And the fifth book is the adjustment. And the reading order is very, very complicated because they don't follow all the same characters. Some books take place before the program, some take place after the program. It's very complicated, but I will leave the recommended reading order down below. And basically, I recommend reading them in a release date order, which is literally on the back here. So the program, the treatment, the remedy, the epidemic, the adjustment, and then the next one, which is the complication, I think. They are all in the same world, except every 2 books follows a different character, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyways, so that is it for my YA recommendations video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read any of these books before and what you thought of them. And if you also have any YA recommendations for me, you can leave them down below because I'm always trying to find new and good YA books that I haven't read or haven't heard of. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!